Hey guys, today we're going to be watching a pool owner show us how he opens a pool and cleans it whenever it's green. Let's start.
Nobody likes having a green pool, and when you first open it up, this is what it might look like. But opening your pool is an easy job if you know a few simple steps. Now, of course, you could pay someone else to open it, but that could cost you as much as $500. And if you pool...
That is true. It costs around $500 or more depending on how dirty or green it is, so.
turns green again, you'll be paying them throughout the season. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to open my own pool, save a lot of money doing it, and learn about taking care of the water so that it's clear all season long. Now, of course, your pool installation will be different, plumbing can be different, and I can't show you everything in every situation, so use this as a general guide, but it will apply to in-ground and above-ground pools. Start by making sure that all your timers and switches are in the off position. Now you've got to go ahead and remove your pool cover. Now I've got one of those tension safety covers, and you do this by removing each one of the springs, and then grab a helper and evenly pull the cover off until it's completely off the pool. Some years are worse than others, and this one's pretty bad. This pool looks like it's filled with antifreeze. I mean, that green is glowing.
That's not too bad. Not very many debris because of the pool cover. And it should be pretty easy to turn the green pool around because there's not too much debris in it, so.
But I'm not worried in the least bit because I know exactly how to deal with it for the least amount of money. Next, I remove anything on the surface that shouldn't be there. I'm not really worried about leaves, but things like this you want to get rid of. This was part of the winterization package I used. That's a chlorinator, and that little sponge is designed to absorb oils. Now these are disposable, so I could just throw them right out. Next, take a few minutes to rinse off your cover before you put it away. Using your fresh water from your hose is going to make sure there's no chemicals left on it. Now if you've got a cover like mine, you're going to have anchors like this in the deck, and you need to screw them down so that they're level with the surface and people don't trip over them.
Yeah, if you stub your toe on that, it does not feel good.
Next, I remove any winterization plugs. Now this is going to vary pool to pool, but you're going to have something in your skimmer like this that's basically blocking the water from getting into the pipes during the winter freeze. Take a few minutes to locate any of the plugs. You might have them on your return lines or maybe even inside your pool pump itself. Now closing a pool is a lot harder than opening it, which is why...
That's true. Closing a pool is way harder than opening it, so.
I really don't recommend closing it yourself until you're sure, but when you open it, you're just going to find those plugs, remove them carefully to make sure that all those pipes are now free and open. You also want to take a minute to reinstall any hardware that was removed when they closed your pool. Now on mine, I've got these underfloor jets, and this piece needs to be reinstalled before I can start the pool up. And this is simple. This one just goes into position, and then I just put the cover back in place and tighten up the clamp. You'll also have to reassemble your filter if you took the cartridges out before the winter. Now we're ready to get our pump going so that we can circulate the water and get rid of that green algae. Now I like to remove the cover of the pump and fill the skimmer basket up with water. Here I'm basically...
Yeah, so you need to fill up the pump with water so it can start running. Whenever you close on the pool, there's like no water in the pumps. Or, you know, the pipe. So you need some water flowing and then you turn on the pump. He's about to turn on the pump, so.
Basically priming the pump, and this is going to make it a lot easier when I turn it on. You probably won't be able to fill it to the top, so once you've got some water in the bottom, that should be good enough and you can replace the lid and tighten it up. Now we're ready to turn the power back on. Now in my house, I've got circuit breakers for the pool, so I'm going to start by turning those on and then going back outside and turning my timer on and my other power switch to the on position. Now I've got a variable speed pump, which means it kind of has like a computer that runs it, so it's not going to start up right away and it kind of ramps up slowly. A lot of times these pumps are going to sound really weird when they first turn on. You might even hear some grinding. But if it looks like it's starting to move water, things are probably flowing in the right direction. If you've got any kind of crazy noises or other issues, go ahead and shut the power off and you might want to take another look. It usually takes a minute or two before the pump gets up to full speed and you start to see all those air bubbles disappear. And now you want to check out your pool and make sure...
And if it isn't running, like if you turn on your pump and it's nothing, no water's moving like after a while, you need to redo it, so put more water in it, let it sit there for a while, and turn the pump back on, and it should go back to normal. If it doesn't, I'd probably call a pool professional and see what's going on.
Make sure that the water is moving. You should see it inside your skimmer basket flowing, and then also on the surface because your return lines are circulating the water around. You also want to make sure that your water is at the right level. Now if you drained it way down before the winter, you might have to add water before you could even turn that pump on. Or if the water is way too high, you might have to use a small utility pump to lower it down. Things are looking good, so I'm going to replace the cover of my skimmer and break out my brush. Now, if you don't have one of these nylon bristle brushes, you definitely want to get one because this is critical and a big tip to getting your pool clear. You don't want to add any chemicals until you run that brush across the entire bottom of the pool. Now, this model works really well and it's pretty easy to do. It's kind of just like sweeping the floor. And by getting all that algae and debris suspended in the water, it's going to allow our chemicals to kill that stuff off. And now into one of the best secrets to get your pool clear fast. Don't waste money on algicides, treatment chemicals, or anything else. You just need to buy this, liquid chlorine. Now, you might never have used this before, but this stuff is fantastic for opening up your pool. Works just like the powdered stuff, but it works instantly, and it's going to attack that algae that's floating in the water. You want to follow the directions on the bottle for your size pool, but this pool's about 18,000 gallons, and that means I need to use 2 bottles of the liquid chlorine. And be sure to leave your...
Yeah, usually what we would do for a green clean, we do shock and flock it, and then after like 6 hours we turn the pump off, and it should start, all the debris should start falling down, and we come out like 4 days later or somewhere in there and vacuum it out the waste, and it looks clear. So
pump and filter running on continuously for at least the first few days. Now here is the pool just 4 hours later. You can see that green is pretty much gone. Now the water's still dirty and cloudy, but it looks a lot better. And here we are 24 hours later, the pool looks a lot better, and you can see a few spots that I missed with the brush, so this is a good time to scrub those, and you can also scrub the sides of the pool if you want to. Now it's day 3 and the pool is looking absolutely awesome. The water's clear, all the algae's gone, and at this point I have not added any chemicals, just those 2 gallons of liquid shock. When it comes to pool water, remember that less is always more. That's why I like to shock a pool first to see if I can get rid of the problem. Now of course you do still have to worry about water chemistry, so at this point you want to test your water. But don't get your water tested at one of those pool stores because they are going to tell you to buy everything under the sun, and you can test the water yourself in just 15 seconds. Don't buy those liquid test kits. They're a pain and they take forever.
Yep.
The best way to test your pool water is with these. These are Hatch test strips and they are absolutely awesome. You just take one of the strips out of the bottle, dip it in the pool for just a second, and then hold it horizontally for 15 seconds to let the colors develop. You just match the squares up to the spot.
So I would say, going out to those pool businesses like in the stores, I would say not to do that too, like what he just said. And then they do sell you a lot of chemicals you probably don't need. They do help a little bit, but in this test strips, you need to make sure you go all the way down to your elbow, or else it won't give you the right chemical balance.
Spots in the bottle, and you know exactly what you have for pH, alkalinity, hardness, cyanic acid, and a lot more. This is so easy to do. I usually will test my water every other day because it is that simple. And now you'll know if you're low or high on anything, that you need to go back to the store and make a purchase to make that adjustment. And what I just showed you is the secret to how I keep my pool looking clear all season long.
Yep, that's the end of our video. I appreciate watching. Watch our videos right here, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.